Joining us now all the way from Port Harcourt is Nigeria Professional Football League expert and the author of the seminal book on Nigerian football, 1,000 Times on the Same Road. I'm talking about a good friend, an experienced journalist, football administrator, one-time press officer. I mean, he's a man of many caps and he probably wears a coat of many colors as well. China Acheru, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. This has to be an exciting run into the end of the league, China. It is neck and neck, Rangers holding on, Enyimba still fighting hard, Remo Stars in the mix. Could you have predicted a better end of the season?
A few weeks ago, let's say at March the 20th, Rangers were nowhere near the mix. All of a sudden, they went on an unbeaten streak, right, where they won 5 straight games. And I look at them, title contenders. And again, right now we are asking, 4 games to go, what is Shooting Stars doing there? A few weeks back, I thought we were battling relegation. But here they are in 4th place. And that's the beauty of the Nigerian Premier League. Rangers, Enyimba, Remo Stars, Shooting Stars, it's going to be a finish that we didn't expect. Then again, if you follow the fixtures, I think, and here's me thinking, the league might be decided this weekend. In Enugu, Rangers host Enyimba. Might be. If we enter a draw, then we fight on. If Rangers win, they go clear. And Enyimba win, of course, they're back on top and they have the advantage. So it's where we want the league to be. I mean, these are what we call Rangers, one of the traditional teams of the league. Shooting Stars in 4th place, who we don't expect there at all. One of the traditional teams in the league. And Remo Stars, one of the newbies who have been trying to make an impression for the past 3 seasons now, playing on the continent, not winning the league yet. You don't get it better than this. Sunday, you don't get it better than this.
Well, China, we're looking at this league now. From what you said, you think that the league might be decided this weekend when Rangers host Enyimba. So that means that the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu is the place to be this weekend. And why do you say that? You honestly think that Enyimba have showed tremendous form, despite the fact that losing George Finidi, their new substantive coach, Ademola Lookman, has been away in Europe, undergoing his UEFA B. But you think that if Rangers win this, it's curtains for the rest of the league?
Rangers are 2 points clear at the top right now. They have 61 points, Enyimba have 59 points.
With 4 matches to go.
Win that, what? With 4 games to go, yes. If Rangers win this one, Rangers will be on 64 points and Enyimba on 59. They'll be 5 points clear with 3 games to go. And you look at the Rangers team of the past 10 games in the league, or the past 15 games in the league, they don't look like a side that would bottle the title if they get a chance, if they go clear at the top with so few games to go. They look at the Enyimba side. Enyimba have played good football. I've watched Enyimba so many times this season. They play good football. They pass the ball well. You see a good shape, you see a good formation. You see a team that has purpose. And Enyimba has done well, both at home and away from home. If Enyimba wins in Enugu on Saturday, that means they're 1 point ahead of Rangers. It's not all clear and good yet, but the Enyimba team I'm seeing this season, they have what it takes to not lose a game. To not lose a game this season. Everything will happen in Enugu. If Enyimba is going to lose a game this season, it's going to be in Enugu. If they're going to lose a game. But if they don't lose in Enugu, I don't see them losing again. Same as Rangers.
Okay.
These are 2 of the best sides in the Nigerian league this season. Enyimba and Rangers.
Oh, yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, China, how are you doing?
I'm fine. I mean, we were in the trenches together many years ago. We fought many battles together in the league. So
you 2 old timers just can't live together.
Yeah, you are looking like a new look Mo Salah, and I know you support Liverpool.
Oh God!
You know, Mo Salah has done away with his afro, and you too, you have done away with your afro.
Oh yeah, you have a question?
Yeah, my question is very simple. Yeah, China. My question is. On Saturday, precisely, I was in my office and I saw this story that Rivers United players went on strike. They didn't train before a very crucial game against Enyimba. They had to go into a very important meeting with officials of the club. They didn't leave Port Harcourt till Sunday for Aba. I needed to give clarity to this purported story.
If I tell you I'm hearing this for the first time. Will you believe me? I'm sure you won't. That's because I actually don't know what with Rivers United. I'm not privy to the information like I used to be some years back. I'm not aware of this. I'm hearing for the first time. I don't know why they will go on strike. I don't know what they are being owed. But truth be told, on the best of their days, they will lose to the current Enyimba team. They will lose to the current Enyimba team. That result surprised me that they could lose 4-1 to Enyimba. So maybe they did not train. Maybe they went out late for the game. Maybe they were on strike. Just maybe. Because that result surprised me that they lost 4-1 to Enyimba. But I've watched both teams play this season. And I think the Enyimba team I've seen this season is a better team than Rivers United. I don't know about the strike. I'm hearing for the first time.
Yeah, I want to do a follow-up question too. What went wrong with Rivers United? I mean, they played on the continent. They were looking good. They got to the knockout stages, and one will expect that a team that have gone that far, should not be in the position they are on the log. And losing 4-1 to Enyimba was logged just like not the Rivers United that we saw on the continent. From what you have seen in Port Harcourt, what do you think has gone wrong with the team?
Listen, it's difficult to tell. Some might say changing coaches, but I don't think so. A few others will say maybe when Fatai Osho left, he left with something, right? Because for a few of us that have followed this team, a few of us believe that Rivers United winning the league when they did was because of the assistant Stanley Goma got, and of course that was Fatai Osho. So some will say with Fatai Osho leaving when he did, he left with something that the team could not replace. So we can't really tell because even this season, the team started pretty well, played on the continent, went farthest than any Nigerian club side, and on the said accumulating outstanding games. They seem pretty in contention for the league title. Then all of a sudden everything went crashing. So it's difficult to put our finger on something, right? Was it this? Guma was suspended for 6 weeks. Many of you don't know that. Before he was eventually sacked, he was out of the team for 6 weeks, or he was on a forced leave, not suspended, he was on a forced leave for 6 weeks, right? Then he came back from his forced leave, and then he was sacked a few weeks later. So could it be the uncertainty in coaching? One weekend is Eguma, the next weekend is Okoye, then back to Eguma, and then back to Okoye. Could it be that? Really hard to place my finger on it, but the truth is that the team crashed, right? Everything just went south for the team in terms of performance, in terms of results, and probably at the end of the season, there might be an inquest to how the team failed to play on the continent. Something that's happened consistently for the team since 2019. For the first time in about 4 or 5 years, they will be on the continent. People are going to ask questions. We're going to find out what went wrong. It can't be players. They have quality personnel. It can't be about them being old. I doubt that it's about them being old. So what really happened? Maybe it's not uncertainty in coaching. Maybe something we don't know about that will come to the fore. But like I said, as I sit here talking to you, I can't really place my finger on what happened to Rivers United. Okay. I'm shocked myself.
Okay, well, let's leave Rivers United and their woes behind, and let's talk about the Nigerian national team. The ongoing industrial action on being embarked on by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress, we hear has affected preparations of the team ahead of that crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Bafana of South Africa at the Godzilla Pabio Stadium in Uyo. We heard that 8 Super Eagles players as of tonight had been unable to join the rest of their colleagues who have already started preparations in Uyo, and we hear that this is because of the industrial action that has seen airports being shut, so flights are being cancelled and being missed and being moved as well. The 8 players we hear include Maduka Okoye, Ajayi, Bright Osayi-Samuel, Calvin Bassey, Onyeka, Alex Iwobi, Ademola Lookman, and Paul Onuachu. This doesn't sound very good for Nigeria's preparation for this particular game. But there are those who are asking, before I came into the studio, that why must they go by a plane? Why can't they go by, public transport? Can't they take a bus like every other Nigerian? I think that was on a lighter note anyway.
Listen, okay.
Yeah.
A first lesson in being there on time. If they only arrived in camp when the camp opens, they would have faced this because camp opened on Sunday. But that's also on the lighter side. More lighter side is this. Even the South Africans can't come for the game because they can't fly in. So if the strike continues longer than necessary, the game might just be moved because the opponents cannot fly in. But having said that, the coach needs his team. When I heard of the number of players that come into camp on Sunday, I was impressed, right? You hardly have that number on the first day of camp. So
I think 15 were in camp on the first day, yeah?
Yes. So the coach would have needed many training sessions with the team to try to change something the way the team plays. But with 8 players out of the team, it means that he can't really perfect what he wants. So yes, it's going to affect the team. No, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a nationwide labor strike. There's nothing nobody can do about it. And asking them to go by road, yes, on the lighter side, that's not even an option. So wait and see that strike will be called off. If not, the game might just be called off too, because even our opponents cannot get into the country without the strike being called off.
Oh yeah, you're also. I'm sure you've also been following this story as well. You're also not particularly happy about it, but who do we hold responsible for this? Someone also saying that these players should have been in camp on Sunday when the camp opened, like every other person, and they pretty much left everything to chance. And there are also those who are basically pointing a finger at the Nigerian Football Federation, saying that if they had done their job right, if they had put out an advisory to these players that, look, there's an impending industrial strike, you have to be in camp on Sunday just to forestall any kind of questions on Monday, that we might not be having this issue. Yeah, that's
I think I want to agree with that, that school of thought. The NFF has to be proactive. They should have given the right advisory to the players. Apart from Ademola Lookman, who played a game just this weekend, every other player that was invited had finished their season. And they didn't have any reason not to be in camp. I think the NFF should have done better. I think perhaps if the camp had opened much earlier, maybe they felt that in the past, the NLC and the TUSC threatened to go on strike, and the last minute, they find a way of suspending the strike or shelving the idea of an industrial action. But sometimes there are no guarantees in life. You just need to be very proactive if they have done the needful. I think it's just only Ademola Lookman would have been left out because you can't blame him. He had a club engagement this weekend. But the other players had finished their season some a week ago, some 2 weeks ago, so you don't really understand why they were not in camp. But if you open camp on this weekend, you can't blame players. Maybe if they have done that earlier, the players would have been in camp. But again, if the NLC and the TUC face the call of the strike, how would the game hold? Like Chana said, the Bafana of South African team may not even get into the country. So it's a situation that we all are praying that it should be resolved as soon as possible.
Well, let's leave that behind and let's move on back to, continental football. We heard that Nigeria and other member associations of the Confederation of African Football have gotten some kind of relief from CAF today after CAF extended the date for the club licensing for CAF competitions. CAF had announced in May that all participating clubs in the 2024-2025 inter-club competitions must have their licensing updated on or before the 31st of May. CAF also demanded that they clear all their debts or reach an agreement regarding those debts before the end of the month if they want to play in the competition next season. However, according to the latest update from the headquarters of CAF in Cairo, Egypt, the body has decided to extend the date of this deadline up until the 22nd of June 2024. I don't think the Nigerian Professional Football League would have ended by then, but hopefully the clubs, I think it's just to be on the safe side, maybe Enyimba, Remo Stars, and Enugu Rangers just go about perfecting the club licensing, because it seems very likely that these 3 clubs will be on the continent next season. To international football now, of course, you know that there was a small matter of the UEFA Champions League that was played this weekend, and it was Real Madrid winning their 15th continental title, record extending. No other team has won as many as they have. It was Carlo Ancelotti's 5th title, puts him heads and shoulders above everybody else. Jude Bellingham, his first title as well. It was also a wonderful send-off for the likes of Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, who will be retiring after this, Toni Kroos obviously is leaving the club at the end of this season. We're not so sure about Luka Modric. There's been talk that he might have a 1-year extension. But China, you have to look at Real Madrid and what is it about this club that when they get into this stage of the UEFA Champions League, it's almost fait accompli. I honestly cannot remember Real Madrid losing a UEFA Champions League final. I can't remember any.
Clearly the best club in the world. Nobody comes close. Clearly the best club in the world. And you guys heard the shocking news from this morning.
What news is that?
They signed Mbappe.
Oh, that's not shocking news. That's the worst kept secret in the world. And that's why a lot of people are talking about, you already have Vinicius Jr., you have Rodrigo, you have Bellingham. Now you're adding,
Yeah. So they built a machine, right? That they are built for the Champions League. Like you said, who remembers the last time we lost the Champions League final? Who remembers? So they built something strong. And I mean, listen, like I said, they're clearly the best club in the world. Nobody comes close. No one comes close. Not any club comes close to them.
Well, just to reinforce what you said, Kylian Mbappe, he was speaking today saying it was a dream come true as his long-awaited move to Real Madrid was confirmed today. The 25-year-old will move to Real Madrid on a 5-year deal after his Paris Saint-Germain contract expired on the 30th of June. Meanwhile, we heard that Chelsea have appointed Leicester City manager Enzo Maresca as their new boss on a 5-year contract with the option of an extra year. The Italian replaces Mauricio Pochettino, who left by mutual consent on the 21st of May after just one season at Stamford Bridge. To Germany now, we heard that the German head coach Julian Nagelsmann has condemned as racist a recent survey that asked participants if they wanted to see more white players on the national football team of Germany. And according to a poll by the public broadcaster, 21% of the respondents agreed with the proposition. And Julian Nagelsmann has been absolutely livid, saying that it is nothing but racist, that a lot of people should look at Germany as a multicultural society, that wanting more white players is ignorant and racist. Well, I don't really know what to say regarding this, but you get the impression that a lot of people, and sentiments have been growing for a while. A lot of people believe that immigration has diluted their societies, and it's now playing out in sports, especially football.
Yeah, and it's good that Nagelsmann has come out to condemn it in its entirety. That's not needed in football. I don't know the idea behind such a poll. The people who came up with the idea should have a rethink. It should be discouraged, and even the respondents. These are footballers. I mean, you have Rüdiger in the German national team playing for Real Madrid, one of the best defenders in the world. You can imagine how that could dampen his morale. It's going to affect the national team. So these are not the kind of things that should be encouraged at the moment.
We really have to go. Yeah. But, of course, we cannot leave without saying thank you to football journalist extraordinaire, author of the seminal book on Nigerian football, 1,000 times on the same road, China Ajayi. We heard that the new book is coming out very soon. We can't wait for that one. But thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. It's an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Pleasure is mine, my brothers. Pleasure is mine.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Onyeka, for joining us as well, and to also the guys behind the scenes who made this particularly possible. But